Good evening. As you can see, I have made it home. I let time get away from me last night, and so I did not read. I wouldn't read because it was so late. But I'm going to read John chapter 7 tonight, and hopefully we'll get back on track next week. But anyway, we're going to read John chapter 7. Jesus at the Feast of Booths. After this, Jesus went about in Galilee. He would not go about in Judea, because the Jews were seeking to kill him. Now the Jews' Feast of Booths was at hand. So his brothers said to him, "Leave here and go to Judea, that your disciples also may see the works you are doing. For no one works in secret if he seeks to be known openly. If you do these things, show yourself to the world." For not even his brothers believed in him. Jesus said to them, "My time has not yet come, but your time is always here. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify about it that its works are evil. You go up to the feast. I am not going up to this feast, for my time has not yet fully come." After saying this, he remained in Galilee. But after his brothers had gone up to the feast, then he also went up, not publicly, but in private. The Jews were looking for him at the feast and saying, "Where is he?" And there were much muttering about him among the people. While some said, "He is a good man," others said, "No, he is leading the people astray." Yet for fear of the Jews, no one spoke openly of him. About the middle of the feast, Jesus went up to the temple and began teaching. The Jews therefore marveled, saying, "How is it that this man has learning when he has never studied?" So Jesus answered them, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. If anyone's will is to do God's will, he will know whether the teaching is from God or whether I am speaking on my own authority. The one who speaks on his own authority seeks his own glory, but the one who seeks the glory of him who sent him is true, and in him there is no falsehood. Has not Moses given you the law? Yet none of you keeps the law. Why do you seek to kill me?" The crowd answered, "You have a demon. Who is seeking to kill you?" Jesus answered them, "I did one work, and you all marvel at it. Moses gave you circumcision, not that it is from Moses, but from the fathers. And you circumcise a man on the Sabbath. If on the Sabbath a man receives circumcision, so that the law of Moses may not be broken, are you angry with me because on the Sabbath I made a man's whole body well? Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. Can this be the Christ?" Some of the people of Jerusalem therefore said, "Is not this the man whom they seek to kill? And there he is speaking openly, and they say nothing to him. Can it be that the authorities really know that this is the Christ? But we know where this man comes from, and when the Christ appears, no one will know where he comes from." So Jesus proclaimed as he taught in the temple, "You know me, and you know where I come from, but I have not come of my own accord. He who sent me is true, and him you do not know. I know him, for I come from him, and he sent me." So they were seeking to arrest him, but no one laid a hand on him, because his hour had not yet come. Yet many of the people believed in him. They said, "When the Christ appears, will he do more signs than this man has done?" Officers sent to arrest Jesus. The Pharisees heard the crowd muttering these things about him, and the chief priests and Pharisees sent offers to arrest him. Jesus then said, "I will be with you a little longer, and then I'm going to him who sent me. You will seek me, and you will not find me. Where I am, you cannot come." The Jews said to one another, "Where does this man intend to go that we will not find him? Does he intend to go to the dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? What does he mean by saying, 'You will seek me, and you will not find me,' and where I am, you cannot come?" Rivers of living water. On the last day of the feast, the great day, Jesus stood up and cried out, If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. Now this he said about the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were to receive. For as yet the Spirit had not been given, because Jesus was not yet glorified. Division among the people. When they heard these words, some of the people said, "This really is the prophet." Others said, "This is the Christ." But some said, "Is the Christ to come from Galilee? As the scriptures, has not the scripture said that the Christ comes from the offspring of David and comes from Bethlehem, the village where David was?" So there was a division among the people over him. Some of them wanted to arrest him, but no one laid hands on him. The officers then came to the chief priests and Pharisees, who said to them, "Why do you not bring him?" The officers answered, "No one ever spoke like this man." The Pharisees answered them, "Have you also been deceived? Have any of the authorities or the Pharisees believed in him? But this crowd that does not know the law is accursed." Nicodemus, who had gone to him before, and who was one of them, said to them, "Does our law judge a man without first giving him a hearing and learning what he does?" They replied, "Are you from Galilee too? Search and see that no prophet arises from Galilee." Now, well, I'll read that tomorrow. There's a note in here about some of the verses included from 7:53 to 8:11, but like I said, I'll read that tomorrow, so y'all can, or read that Monday. Tomorrow's Sunday. I did want to tell y'all, thank you for your patience. Some friends and I went to went to Mobile for a couple of days and went to the Vintage Market Days, and it was a lot of fun. It was just like a giant vendor event. Lots of different things. It was in a real big building, and we walked around. There were vendors everywhere. People were selling vintage quilts. People were selling all kinds of different foods. I got an apple, a caramel apple that was, after it was dipped in caramel, it was covered in graham cracker crumbs and then had drizzled like a lemon icing that got crispy when it dried, lemon icing drizzled over the top of it, and it was called a lemon icebox apple. And I ate half of it a while ago. It's very good. It goes through tomorrow. We came on home today because we wanted to be home in time for church. But we saw all kinds of beautiful things, lots of Christmas decorations, lots of fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving decorations, beautiful jewelry. We saw a booth that had bracelets and necklaces and earrings made from the keys off of old typewriters. We saw, goodness gracious, there was all kind of leather goods. There were handmade tools. There was knives. There was, like I said, leather works. It was just a little bit of anything you could imagine. And good evening, Michelle. And it was just a lot of fun. We had a good time. We went early yesterday morning and stood in line and got one of the goodie baskets that had a lot of discount coupons and coupons for free items. Of course, we didn't get everything that was offered because we weren't interested in everything, but there was a lot of good things. And I can see that it's a great way for people to get together. They do that twice a year. I believe they have one in Birmingham. If it's not the same thing, it's real similar. But it was just a lot of fun. We had a good time. The three of us got to spend time together and got to know each other a little bit better. And we did that, and we hit some thrift stores. And if you know me, you know I love children's books, so I found some children's books that I didn't have. And I'm excited to share those with some of my favorite little people, or just myself. I sat and read a couple of them myself this afternoon. I just love children's books. And so we had a good time. I would encourage any of you to consider going. I think the tickets were like less than $15, and that covered all 3 days. But we had a good time. It did us good to get away a little bit and do something different. Had a little bit of excitement this morning. We were sitting at the Waffle House eating a late breakfast, and like I said, we were in Mobile, and all of a sudden the lights flickered and then went out, and we heard an explosion. It sounded like an explosion, and of course several of us hollered because it surprised us. And then about 15 seconds later there was another one, and what had happened was a truck, like a bucket truck, that type vehicle. I don't know if that's exactly what it was, but it had some kind of boom on the back. In some way it got tangled up in power lines, and I did not see it happen, so I don't know what happened, but it broke the pole off. The pole landed on the truck. The person driving it, I believe, was okay, but Waffle House was still in the dark when we left. They did have a backup generator going to run the some of the stuff, but I'm thankful that nobody got hurt. I'm thankful it didn't cause a fire, and I'm thankful that nobody else, there was not a wreck involved. It was just that one truck. A lot of first responders were there by the time we got ready to leave. But we had a good time. It's always good to get away with your friends. Sometimes it may be just going out to lunch, and sometimes it may be a day road trip, and sometimes you just need to get out and be gone for several days. And that's what we did. Like I said, we enjoyed ourselves. And you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Now, I got several nice things, not several, 2 or 3 nice things. But we just had a good time. So it builds those relationships when you're able to spend time with your friends. Anyway, thank y'all for joining me. We will be back Monday, and we will read John chapter 8.